Elon Musk, he's heading up the DOGE department, the Department of Government Efficiency. I kind of give them a high grade for DOGE because I like that they're getting rid of the waste and the fraud. But a lot of people think they're cutting too deep. Tens of thousands of federal workers have already been laid off in just 2 months. Supporters call it long overdue. Critics say it's chaos disguised as reform. New polls show Americans like the idea of a smaller federal government. They like the cuts, but they don't love the execution of it. So what does this say about Trump's second-term strategy and the billionaire he's counting on to deliver it? Will Elon Musk disappear and DOGE will continue its work, but not under his guidance? Let's talk to Dave Dulio, director of the Center for Civic Engagement and Political Science professor at Oakland University. Hey, Dave, how are you?
I'm well, Kevin. Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, this new poll, it says we love what Elon Musk is doing. We just don't necessarily love Elon Musk. Do you get that sense?
Oh, absolutely. And I think that it is not at all surprising and I don't think it's really centered on Elon Musk. I think that he is the sort of the target, an easy target for Democrats when they are criticizing the administration. But I think it actually goes deeper into this sort of inconsistent view that Americans have in their opinions, not just about this, but about many things, right? Where, as you say, the idea of cutting waste, fraud, and abuse and other spending is popular. But when we start to talk about specifics, that's where people start to say, well, maybe not, let's not cut that. I kind of like that. Or, when we start to hear about people losing their jobs, nobody wants to see that. And that's where the public starts to, as I say, pump the brakes.
Yeah, I think that's part of the reason why the deficit is so high, because everybody likes the idea of cuts, just not their cuts, just not in their department, just not in their state, in their community. And so somehow government allows everybody to keep the gravy train going, and we end up with $36 trillion in debt. I like what you said about the people losing their jobs. I do feel like Donald Trump and Elon Musk seem to have very little empathy for those who are losing their jobs. If someone was standing up there and said the deficit is going to destroy this country, it has to be reduced, this is a time that we're all going to have to sacrifice, and therefore these cuts are going into place, and we feel terrible about those who are going to lose their jobs, but we're going to direct you to programs to help you find new jobs, I would feel much better about what they're doing. But Elon Musk running around with a chainsaw and saying we're cutting, I don't know. It doesn't feel very nice to me.
Well, I think, Kevin, that is a terrific point, because I don't think the White House has actually done a very good job messaging this piece of their agenda, right? Where, heck, they should hire you as the communications guy.
Yeah, they should.
Put you out there, right? I mean, but this is nothing new, right? I mean, there's a reason why we haven't been able to cut into the deficit, reduce our debt, and it's because there's somebody powerful enough, who created a program or implemented a policy that spends a bunch of money, and they don't want to see it go away. Presidents for decades have been trying to talk about reducing the deficit. And let me read you a quote from a former president. Quote, "Everyone knows getting rid of the deficit will require some tough decisions, and that includes cutting back on billions of dollars in programs that people care about. But what should be easy is getting rid of the pointless waste and stupid spending that doesn't benefit anybody," unquote. Now, you could say maybe that's Ronald Reagan,
Abraham Lincoln,
maybe George H.W. Bush, maybe even Bill Clinton. That is Barack Obama making that statement.
Wow.
Right. So this is an issue that's been part of the conversation for years, decades, and no one has been able to crack that nut.
I don't know how I would do answering one of these surveys on this issue, because they talk about they would talk about perhaps Medicare and Social Security, and I hear on the news a lot that they're going to cut Medicare and Social Security, and then I see Donald Trump sitting in the Oval Office saying we are not going to touch Medicare or Social Security, and I don't know if it's just they're throwing fear at us, or if Donald Trump is lying to us, and it would make it tough for me to give them a grade or answer a question on a survey.
Absolutely, and those are programs that are difficult to cut, not just politically, but legislatively, right? I mean, those are entitlements, those are enshrined in law that would take an active legislative change to do away with, say, benefits, right? Or to cut benefits. The other piece of it is, and we can go back 30 years to battles between Bill Clinton and Newt Gingrich, where the Congress was trying to slow the rate of growth, right? So instead of growing at a 6% rate over time, they wanted to say, well, we're gonna grow it at 3% over time, and they were vilified as cutting these programs, right? So who knows? Maybe that's part of the strategy that the Democrats have right now, where they're pitching cuts as not increasing as much as they would like to see.
Another thing I can't really tell is whether all these lawsuits are the Democrats just trying to slow Donald Trump down so he doesn't have success before the midterms, or if these are true concerns about him overstepping his power.
Well, I think it's both, right? I mean, it's and we've seen the lawsuits be successful in slowing the administration down with all of the temporary relief that the folks who are suing have gotten, right? Where a temporary restraining order is put into place, or a temporary injunction is put into place to say, hey, hold on, let us figure this out. And so but I also think that the folks that are behind those actually believe that they're on the right side of the law.
All right, Dave Giulio, appreciate you coming on. Thanks so much for your insight.
Thank you, Kevin.
All right, yeah. So in this survey, 59% support downsizing government, but 59% also oppose mass firings. 40% have a negative view of DOGE. Only 41% see it positively. 46% of Americans think creating DOGE was a good idea. 40% say it was a bad idea. So we're kind of all over the board when it comes to this survey. We seem to like smaller government, but not the people in charge of making the cuts and the attitudes they have while doing it. You're listening to All Talk on WJR.